Seth Stokes, 1063 WORD News. I am here at the Greenville County School District Office with Director of Communications, Beth Brotherton, and it is School Choice Week here in South Carolina, and that's what we're talking about for our cover story this week, and who better to talk about the public school system than Beth Brotherton. Beth, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me today, and, tell me a little bit about what Greenville County's public school system has to offer parents.
Well, we're really proud that Greenville County Schools has the largest school choice program in the state. We have a little more than 15% of our students who attend a school of their choice, meaning a school that they're not necessarily zoned for, where their parents have said, there's nothing wrong with our neighborhood school, but there's a magnet school that maybe serves a special interest or a talent that their child has, or there's a school that maybe is outside of their attendance zone but is closer to mom or dad's work, and so it's easier for them to do drop off and pick up that way. So there are multiple school choice options in Greenville County, and we're so pleased that there's a lot of parents who are taking advantage of them.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, talking about your neighborhood schools in general here, if you're zoned for XYZ Elementary, what are the benefits in your opinion of students attending those public schools?
Well, the benefit of attending your neighborhood school is obviously you've got the bus transportation available, or if you live close enough, you can walk. We think that we don't have a bad school in Greenville County, and that your neighborhood school means that your kids are going to school with the kids that live nearby, and you can develop friendships and partnerships, share in the carpool line, and it really becomes a community that invests in the school that's closest to their home. And so I think in terms of parent involvement, if a parent is close to the school where their child attends, they're more likely to be able to go over and volunteer, take part in school events, and be an active participant. We're always aiming toward parent engagement, where parents are not just involved in the school, but really feel like they understand what's going on. And that tends to be simpler if that's done at a neighborhood school where the location is better, particularly for those parents who might not have transportation, who would need the bus to take their child back and forth to school, and who might not be able to have quite as much access to get to the school building if it was farther away from their home.
Now, for parents that may think that their children can't get a quality education in their neighborhood school, what would you say to those parents?
I would say, as a parent myself and as a district employee, that I truly believe that you can get a great education for your child at any school, not just in Greenville County, but at any school, if you are an active participant. If you are asking your child the right questions. What did you read today? What was the related arts event that you went to? What did you make? Tell me 2 to 3 things that you learned today. That you're having an active conversation with your child's teacher. That you are on a regular basis asking the teacher, okay, what are my child's strengths and weaknesses? What can we do at home? And if you're not satisfied with what you're hearing from the teacher, that you empower yourself to go talk to the principal and say, listen, I'm not quite connecting with the teacher. I'm not pleased with the results that I'm seeing for my child. These are my concerns. How can we address them? And I think that as a parent, when you take a role and an interest and make that connection both with your child and letting them know, I'm watching, I care, and I want to be part of this, and then have that team relationship with the teacher, that's how the system is going to work. And so if your choice is a neighborhood school, and even if your choice is a magnet school or a school that's a change in assignment school, parent involvement and making sure that things are going correctly and that your child is fulfilled and involved and happy and wanting to learn, that's going to be the bottom line regardless of where you choose to send your child to school.
Now, you mentioned the magnet school, and you'd mentioned them earlier too, as a kid may have a special talent, and this magnet school may be able to really help them flourish in that. How big of a deal is it for Greenville County to have those magnet schools, and that kids and parents have the option to attend them?
Sure. We have 11 magnet schools. We have 3 at the elementary level. We have 3 at the middle school level and 4 at the high school level. And so you're talking about various different things. At the elementary school, we've got a language immersion school at Blythe Academy where students literally have the opportunity to learn math or science in French and or Spanish.
Wow.
And so they are able to really immerse themselves in the language and learn in a way that you can't by simply taking Spanish 1 or Spanish 2. That continues on in Spanish at Hughes Academy and continues on in French at Greenville Middle School. So there's a language option. Also at the elementary school level, we've got East North Street Academy that focuses on science and math. So if you've got a student that really has an aptitude or an interest even. They don't necessarily even have to be gifted in math or science. If they've got an interest, if they want to pursue a career potentially in engineering, they like robotics, that would be a great fit for your child. You've got Stone Academy at the elementary school level that has some specialty programs for kids who are interested in communications and the arts. Again, that continues at League Academy at the middle school level. Hughes Academy also offering kind of the technology element there as well. At the high school level, we've got J.L. Mann that does the New Tech program, which is kind of growing statewide. You've got Greenville High School that offers business and finance as their magnet. We actually have the Greenville Federal Credit Union has a running branch inside Greenville High School.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's huge. It was really cool. This is the second year that they've done it. They took an old teacher's kind of lunchroom area that wasn't being used, and Greenville Federal Credit Union invested the money to turn it into a working bank branch run by students with the help of an advisor. Those students went through the same training as any employee in the Federal Credit Union, and so they can now, during lunch periods and before and after school, set up bank accounts for fellow students and teachers, provide loans and other information for cars and that sort of thing. At Carolina High School, we have the fantastic opportunity of a partnership with the Greenville Health System, where they actually have a career center for health sciences where students take weekly trips to the Greenville Health System because of the location of Carolina High School and being so close to the main hospital that they work with the medical school and really give students who have an interest in health and science when they're at the high school level a leg up on learning that there are not just careers as a doctor or a nurse, but learning what it looks like to do medical research. What does it look like to be a pharmacist? What does it look like to be an athletic trainer? And so they can really start to specialize and have this hands-on experience by taking field trips to the hospital and having doctors and medical students who are very much involved in what they're doing.
Oh, that's fantastic. It sounds like Greenville County Schools really hits, the interest from all angles. I know one concern parents do have sometimes with a public school is the size of the classroom, the amount of students in the classroom. In your opinion, does that affect the level of one-on-one time with the teacher that a student can get when there are 25, 26 students in a classroom compared to maybe some of your private schools you might have 10?
Yeah, that certainly is the child going to get more one-on-one attention in a 1-to-10 ratio than a 1-to-25? Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. It comes with a price tag, obviously, and there are certain things, though, that we do. The state of South Carolina takes a look at some kind of key areas where in kindergarten an aide is allotted in every classroom. So you have a teacher and an aide at every public school kindergarten. They also put a cap on class size in first grade, which is really the time period when students are asked to progress the most in reading, jump the most levels and make the most progress. So they cap the class size statewide at 20-1 at first grade. Many of our Title I schools recognize that class size is important, Title I being some of the lower income areas where students might have greater needs, and they actually use their federal funding money to purchase additional teachers. And so they buy down, if you will, class size in some of the areas that they see needs. I'll give you an example. East North Street Academy, one of our Title I schools, uses a big chunk of their federal funding to purchase additional classroom teachers to reduce class size from the kind of state standard of 25-1 to, in some cases, 18 or even 16-1 to allow for more of that one-on-one attention. Plus, we employ a lot of interventionists or reading recovery specialists or people in the classroom who, if a child is identified as struggling in an area, that they can be pulled from the classroom and still given that one-on-one time. If their challenge is that they have English as a second language issue, we've got people on staff within the school to give those students that opportunity to better learn English. If their struggle is reading, particularly as we look at the new Read to Succeed law, which would require holding students back at third grade if they don't meet a certain level of reading expectations. We employ reading interventionists who will pull students aside for that one-on-one time to make sure that their fluency and the speed at which they read and their comprehension are at the right level. So I would say that at the public schools, while our class sizes might be larger, our ability to employ specialists to pull kids out of the larger classroom and address their individual needs on a one-on-one basis, there might be more opportunities at the public schools to get kids that focused attention for their specific need.
In especially elementary and middle school levels, how important is it for those kids to really be immersed in the diversity that you get from a person standpoint with the larger public school sizes?
Public school is real life. It is real society. It is demographically and socially, economically, what real life looks like. And as we work on building a better graduate, that includes having social skills and being able to work as a team, because that's going to be the expectation when these students go off to college or the workforce. They're going to have to know how to work with people that are different than them. They're going to have to learn how to appreciate people that have different backgrounds. They're going to have to know what it takes to be successful, how to be on time, how to respect authority. And a public school system looks like the community that surrounds it. And so the expectation for us, at least for me as a parent, in sending my own kids to public school is I want my kids to experience real life as soon as possible, to have friends from as many countries as possible, to be in a classroom with people that don't look like them, with people who, may or may not have the same benefits that they do, for them to understand that they're fortunate, and for them to have compassion and empathy, and for them to be able to be leaders if possible, to assist the students in their class who might not speak English, and understand that everybody has value and that everybody has something to give and that you can learn from everybody. And what better place to do that than at an age when you're the most accepting of others? Because it's amazing to watch kindergartners not see a difference in the people who sit next to them. And the question for me is always, at what point in our life do we lose that? When do we start recognizing the differences? And if we can get people to not see the difference starting at a young age where everybody's accepting, wouldn't that be ideal as we grew up and became an adult society? So immersing our children in real life as soon as possible, I think, is invaluable.
Absolutely. Beth, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me about the offerings of the Greenville County Public School System. And, where can parents go to find more information about the schools here in Greenville?
If I can, I'd love to. The other option, in addition to magnet schools that we offer, is a change in assignment opportunity for parents. There's a variety of reasons why parents might not want their child to go to their neighborhood school. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the neighborhood school. It may be that grandma does pickup in the afternoon and grandma lives in a different part of town. So it's more convenient, for pickup to have the child at a school next to grandma than it is for a school next to their home. or if a parent drops their children off on the way to work and picks them up on the way home, it's much more convenient and doable, if you will, in terms of the time frame of, okay, I can get from my work in this amount of time to this school, but I can't get all the way back to my house. And so there's lots of reasons why we think that parents might want to choose schools that aren't necessarily the ones that their kids are zoned for. So that's another big opportunity. Most of your windows of opportunity to make those choices, both the change in assignment and the magnet schools, are in the fall for the next year. The change in assignment window is usually in the December period of time. Magnet schools, the first round is in November usually. If there is space available, we do 6 rounds until those magnet spots fill up. But we tell people in some schools the magnet spots are limited and they fill up in round 1. Some schools it takes 2 or 3 rounds until they fill all those spaces. But really your best opportunity to take advantage of school choice is in the fall months. And so we would encourage parents to look at their options in advance and figure out what's going to work best for their child. Investigate it, and don't just investigate it on paper. That would be my other big, encouragement to parents is if you have a concern about your neighborhood school, walk in, talk to the principal, ask for a tour. We do that. We want to provide great customer service. The other thing that I would encourage people to really do is if they have a school that they might be interested in, or if they have a concern potentially about their neighborhood school, is to walk in, talk to the principal, ask for a tour, meet some teachers, sit in on a classroom, and get comfortable. Again, take a really active role in where your child might be interested in going to school. And so the thing that I would encourage parents to do is once your child is in school, to take an active role, and before your child even enters school, take an active role. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with changing your mind along the way. You might have a child attend your neighborhood school all through elementary school, but by the time you get to middle school, you have an interest, you've recognized that your child has a special interest, and that's when you want to switch focus and maybe do a magnet school. Magnet schools have the offering of you can have bus transportation if your child attends a magnet school, which is another huge advantage. My children attend a magnet school because they've got a special interest, and also because it's near my work, and because it offers bus transportation on the way home. My kids can ride the bus home. So there's multiple reasons why people choose different schools, and we're just thankful to have those options. So a great resource is our website, greenville.k12.sc.us. They can go on and search change in assignment. They can search magnet schools and find the information for the dates of when those applications are due and how to go through the process.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.